And now we're moving this screen over here. This meeting is being live. Got it. Okay. All right, and we can close it. Yeah. Close you on. Okay, and that's on private video. Sign in. Down here, I want to make this meeting being live. Got it. Okay, trying to work with
this call may be recorded or transcribed.
Just scroll around down here. Close it? Yeah. Oh, that's right. Let's close you on. Okay.
Or if you turn it all the way down. If you turn it all the way down, it'll mute it.
Oh, that'll work. That'll mute it. Now we're in and we're done. I'm gonna need you next time just to make sure again, because it's throwing me little curves still.
Yeah, I'll be here next week.
Okay, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So anyway, I love you, man.
Love you too.
It's your cruising time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, see you, tomato.
Yeah.
All right. All right, we're getting all ready to go here. And stay with us as we are hooking things up. And they appear to be hooked up. I got a few more chores to do here. Let's see. More tea, please. All right. And now I'm muting your mic, Sister Robinson. Okay, it's muted. If you need to unmute it, you may at any time press the star key 2 times to unmute your mic. And we're live, and we're just getting organized here. We're a few minutes away from doing the broadcast, and I'm trying to get comfortable in my chair and all that stuff, because we got to go for 2 hours here, you know. And stay with us. This is Bishop Dr. Truman Burst from Good Shepherd Ministries, and we're up here. Oh, man. Okay, what do I want? Oh, I know what I want. I want Ephesians 6. Let's get that whole body armor of God on Ephesians 6. Dash about 10 to all right, let's find that. There it is. That'll work. Yes. Okay. And let's see. And thank you for joining us here on Discoveries in Health. And we are just getting started.
This is Bishop Dr. Truman Burst.
And thank you for joining us here. This is Bishop Dr. Truman Burst from Good Shepherd Ministries. And we've got an open mic over here in Atlanta. Let's try, there we go. We will be opening the microphones, inviting you to open the microphone over there in dial pad meetings. Those who have joined over the telephone, anytime you can press your star key 2 times on your telephone, and you can ask me to talk about anything you want me to talk about. This is a discussion, not a lecture, and I invite your participation. I want to make sure you are educated in the topics that you want to learn. So if you want to learn about high blood pressure or diabetes or heart problems, I'm not prescribing, I'm not diagnosing, I'm not selling products. What I am doing is talking about the historical and traditional uses of natural remedies and describing what the latest science is regarding those topics. If you need a medical attention, be sure and see your medical doctor. If you need to improve your health, be sure and see your herbalist. And that's me. And that's my telephone number is 503-362-5899. That's 503-362-5899 is my telephone number. My email address is truman@herbalhealthreview.com. Truman@herbalhealthreview.com, just like the website, herbalhealthreview.com. And when we're up on the website, herbalhealthreview.com, well, that's where you're going to get all this information, all these reports with links to products. And I'm not selling products, but I make sure you get places where you can find them. And if you can't find a product, call me up on the telephone, email me, text me on my telephone number. That works great. Just text me on 503-362-5899 and let me know what you'd like to learn about. I'll go and find the product for you. I'll go find the information for you. I do that. I've been doing that for, well, I've been helping people with natural remedies for over 60 years. So that's what we do here. And then when we get on the website, let's get on there. We got this pop-up thing in the way, and it doesn't want to get out of the way. It wants to be right in my way. I wonder if there's some way to put it somewhere else. I wonder. Maybe I can put it over here. That would be a good place for it, right there. Okay, now it's not in the way, and I can actually see what I'm looking at. And I can see that I could probably put the camera up just a little bit, so that I'm more in focus. Now that I can see that, now I'm going to go over here to Herbal Health Review. Let's see, let's go like this. Herbal. There it is. There it is, Herbal Health Review. So let's go over on the herbalhealthreview.com website. And when we're on the herbalhealthreview.com website, let's go to the top of the page here. And if we clicked on home, let's acquaint yourself with this website. This is an information website. It's not where you go to buy products. It's where you go to learn all about products, what they do, and which ones may be helpful to you, because what's on this website is research on various topics. So whatever the topic may be, if you went to, it starts out to support what we're doing here. Yes, this is a ministry. I have no sponsors, which is good. That means I have nobody that I have to make sure and say whatever it is they want. I say what I want. It really makes a lot of people angry sometimes, actually. Because being outspoken in this day and age can get you in a lot of hot water. So, which I'm well acquainted with. So here we are on the website, herbalhealthreview.com, with all this information that bad people don't want you to have. That's the fact. The devil wants you to suffer and die. And so do a lot of people. And you know it and I know it. And there's certain institutions that are dedicated to just doing that. And that's where we need to do something about it. We need to keep the whole body armor of God on 24/7. Don't even take it off to shower or bathe. Keep that whole body armor of God on all the time. And that being said, let's open up this broadcast. Now that you've had my telephone number, you know what we're doing here, and you see the website, and you saw all the ways to join this website and to make a donation. You can go down on the home page, and it gives you various ways, 3 different plans to participate and help us to help educate people about natural remedies with information that they can get nowhere else. And there is not another system like this one in the United States of America or any other country. And when I unveiled this system here in America, I was told that I couldn't do it. I was told to take it down and tear it up and throw it away. Stop trying to help people with natural remedies is what I was told. But the Most High God overcame, because I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission in the name of Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ doesn't like this to see the suffering and the dying, that they're suffering to death, and Jesus doesn't like that, and the Most High God doesn't like that, and a lot of people don't like it either. And unfortunately, there are a lot of people that do like it. And those are the people that are trying to stop you from ever getting the information that we're going to talk about. They definitely don't want you to support what I'm doing. And they'll tell you not to take natural remedies. But then again, that's not what they say when it's too late. And so often people are coming to me too late, because they've listened to the family members who said, go to your doctor, go to your doctor, go to your doctor. Don't take those natural remedies. And they did. They went to their doctor and they went to their doctor, and now they're not alive anymore. And they suffered to death. And that's what's wrong. You see, this is here. This natural remedies are God's medicine. Drugs are man's medicine. Now you know what's wrong with that. And to start with, it's made by man. It's run by man, and it's run by greed in America and other countries too. And that's why we got to do something about it. Somebody has to stand up. And I've been knocked down so many times from standing up. Sometimes I don't know whether I'm standing or still laying down. But this is the system, and this is your opportunity to support a system that's educating people with natural remedies, and it's working. And one of the reasons why they pushed so hard to get rid of me is because this works. And they never, ever wanted you to find out that there is a system of natural remedies that works. That's the last thing that the allopathic drug pushers wanted you to know. But that's what we do here. So please become a member. $20 monthly. That's mainly for the poor. I can't I can't really work if all I ever got was $20, and that's what I got in the beginning, and very few donations at that when I started doing this 62 years ago. But now $20 isn't much money, and when someone has 8 health disorders, and I have to do 6 hours of research and articulate it all and create a plan for that person to where they know step by step exactly what they need to do and what they need to take. It's really hard to do that for $20 when it takes you 6 hours to do it, because they have 8 or 10 different health disorders, and they need alternatives. They need support. They're not getting a cure from the doctor, and they're not allowed to get a cure from anywhere else because their system is so powerful. It passed the allopathic medical system has said that they are the only system. And if you try to go to any other system, well, then they'll throw you out of your hospital. If you walk into the hospital and say, I got a high blood pressure, and they're going to give you a bunch of drugs, and you say, I think I'll take some garlic and some cayenne pepper and some other herbs for they'll throw you out and they won't let you back in. That's happened many times. So you have to be careful when you go in there. You don't want to offend the medical doctors, and there are times we need them. That's right. There are times we need them, and we need the medications until we can get off of them. But you do not want to try to stay on medications only and live on drugs only, because that's never proven to work. In fact, it's proven that it doesn't work. We have a lot of people suffered to death trying to do that. Told it's the only way, and they suffered to death because their relatives told them that's the only way. Don't go to this. Don't try to be supported or comforted with natural remedies. Oh, don't bother about nourishing your body. Oh, and some of them even tell you to turn your back on God, that He's not there either. So you're going to get all when you're suffering, you're going to get all these people who are going to be glad to tell you what you should and shouldn't do. But you're the one that's suffering, and you're the one that's got to take responsibility for it. So that's where you always start with one thing, and that is your diet. But anyway, this is the system here. You make a donation of whatever size that you can, $20 monthly for 12 months, and you automatically have a lifetime membership. which is $240. So for $240, you can call me on the telephone whenever you can reach me, because it's hard to get me on the phone, but not that hard. You can text me anytime. I'm texting people all day long and making sure that everybody who texts me, I try to get to them immediately and answer their text messages. Emails, same thing. Every day I'm clearing my emails. I have hundreds and hundreds of emails, and every day I go through them and try to answer the emails. But on the telephone calls, when someone wants to talk to me for 30 or 40 or 50 minutes, I can only do that a few times and my day is gone and I can't help any more people. So I have to be careful of enjoying a conversation or spending too long on the telephone with someone, because sometimes you get on the telephone and if somebody's got 8 health disorders and they want you to explain each one, well, it could take hours and hours. But anyway, the way I get around that is the system that is created with the member intake form that's on the side here. It's over here right there. That's the member intake form. So when you make the donation, you fill out the member intake form. and when you make the donation, you get a username and a password. Okay, that's really important. So you need to know how to use this system. You need to know how to participate in it and help it flourish, because other people need to know about this. We are a secret. There is no advertisement anywhere advertising what I'm doing. So this is it. This is the only way they're going to learn about it, is if you tell them. You say, hey, I know about this system. You do not have to suffer to death. There is somebody who cares. They do have things that will comfort you and support whatever it is you're doing. That's a fact. There is no one that can't be supported or helped. And I'll tell you one thing, when someone is supported and helped, and the doctors are basically giving up on them and they're just drugging them to death finally, and those people they're thrilled that the family members have decided to help them with natural remedies, and they're finding that the natural remedies are comforting them and that they're actually supporting them, and they were missing that. They were suffering needlessly and getting no support because they were told that it was useless. So that's what we're fighting here, folks. That's what we're fighting here. That's why, in the name of Jesus Christ, our Savior, finally, my brethren, Ephesians 6, 10-18, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore, take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, take the shield of faith. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints. All praises to the Most High. In Jesus Christ's name, all praises to the Most High. We receive His complete, continuous, endless, and limitless blessing for the glory and for the victory of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. In Jesus Christ's name, we receive. So be it. Amen. And that being said, I'm looking over to the telephones over here to see if someone over there in dial pad meetings has a question, a topic, or a suggestion, something that we should, talk about today. If not, well, we gave you an introduction here of how to get started on your journey.
Dr. Truman.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes. Could you talk about colon cancer?
Talking about colon cancer. Okay, let's talk about colon cancer today, and I'm going to do that. And I'm looking for where that mic came in, and I don't see where it came in. That was interesting because I don't see any mic open over there in dial pad meetings yet. Someone came in over the microphone. So
Yes, he's in the Zoom meeting.
Yeah, I don't know where you are, how you're coming in here. I don't see you anywhere in there. But anyway, it's a cam. I see you over here. Oh, that's it. Okay, it's Cam Frank.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. And I got an open mic over here, and Sharon's mic is open. And Sharon, did you have a comment or a suggestion or a topic? It's closed. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, that's great. Cancer. Okay. Now, please understand, I'm not claiming cures for cancer. I'm claiming support. We can support people who have cancer. And here's how we do it. We go to that website. We click on the home button and we select what kind of donation we can make here to support this ministry. And if you know somebody who's wealthy to the world, I need someone who has the wherewithal to help me to do that. So if that, because I want to help more people, I want to help them faster, I want to help them better. So I need I need someone, an investor who wants to invest in the suffering and to help people who are suffering to get this information. So I need that donations, and I'm looking for people who can help us get this out. So that's what, you know, every ministry, every church needs donations to keep going. Nothing's changed here. And we're not getting enough. We're not getting enough. No, we get, and because there's so many poor. I'm getting hundreds of people who are making a $20 donation, and they need $10,000 worth of work. And I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm getting them all the information. I'm doing what doctors can't do, the medical doctors, because I'm supporting, and you know, their job is to, you know, dispense drugs and do surgeries, and they do. And my job is to support and comfort, and it works wonderfully. So anyway, that's how you get started, is that donation. Then that member intake form, you fill out the member intake form, and it's an online form. So you fill it out, when you type in everything, you fill everything in, and if you can't fill in something, Don't fill it in, leave it blank. But just send that member intake form with your name and address and telephone number and email address, and that's and what you need. And then when you do, when I get that member intake form, I pray over it. Because the body is you, we are all mind, body, spirit. You can't leave out the spirit. You can't leave out the body, and you can't leave out the mind. So, and they're all together. They're all together. So when you fill out that member intake form, now I pray over it. I pray over that member intake form. And I'm spirit filled and spirit led. And I answer your questions. And I send links to products that may help you, and you, so that you can, or so you know where to get what you need. And if you, and if it's back ordered or something, or you can't find it, text me on my telephone number is the easiest and the fastest way, because I'm looking at my telephone all day long because it's a computer telephone. So when you text me, bang, I see it right away. I may not be able to answer it right away, but within minutes or hours, certainly not more than a day, I'm going to answer that telephone. I'm going to see that blinking telephone message that you're trying to call. And even if you call and hang up, I still know you called, and I can still call you back. So it's a really good system because I don't miss any calls. And so anyway, that member intake form, the donation, that puts that puts things in, you know, where I know what you need. I'm not just telling you to where you have to write a bunch of stuff down and figure, and then no, I'm creating a plan. And when I send that member intake form back to you, you have a plan. You know what to take and when to take it and how to take it and what else to do and how to nourish the body, how to comfort the body, and how to support whatever it is that you're dealing with. And that's how it works. God will help. God helps everybody. Everybody comes to God. God helps them. That's it. In the name of Jesus Christ, you come to God and you get help. That's a guarantee. Now, so once you've done that, when you've made that donation, you got a username and a password. So you come to this website and you click on common conditions, herbalhealthreview.com. So when you're on the herbalhealthreview.com website and you clicked on common conditions and you want to know all about the latest research on breast and all cancers, well, you go right here. Let's see, or breast and all cancer right there. And you click read more. And what you find out about is that it gives you a complete description and a massive amount of information. It will take you a while to digest it all, but there are so many different things that will help. For instance, just knowing what cancer is in lay terms, so you can understand it, because you don't understand the medical terms. Well, you don't need to, because this puts it in lay terms. And a summary of what cancer is it goes like this. Cancer is a class of diseases characterized by out of control cell growth. And there are over 100 different types of cancer. And each is classified by the type of cell that is initially affected. Cancer harms the body when damaged cells divide uncontrollably to form lumps or masses of tissue called tumors, except in the case of leukemia, where cancer prohibits normal blood function by abnormal cell division in the blood, in the bloodstream. So with this abnormal cell division, then tumors can grow and interfere with the digestive and nervous and circulatory systems. And then you gotta, and then you're not working with just a cancer, you're working with the digestive, the nervous, and the circulatory systems. You got to balance them all out. It's kind of like rolling into a service station with 4 flat tires, and you come in and say, I just want you to fix one. And the guy looks at you, that doesn't work that way. You got 4 flat tires, you got tumors, you got digestive, you got nervous systems, or problems in circulatory systems, and you got to fix them all, or you're not rolling back out of here. Because a lot of people, they think cancer, man, you just give me the magic pill for cancer and everything's good. You get it. What we're dealing with here is understanding how it works and how to deal with it. So now that we're knowing that it's affecting the digestive, the nervous, the circulatory systems, and there's tumors, they can release, these cancers can release hormones that alter body function. Your body's not functioning the way, your mind is clouded. Tumors that stay in one spot and demonstrate limited growth are generally considered to be benign. And more dangerous or malignant tumors form when 2 things occur. Number 1, a cancerous cell manages to move throughout the body using the blood or lymph systems, destroying healthy tissues in the process, called invasion. That cell, excuse me, that's one thing. The cancerous cell manages to move throughout the body using the blood or the lymph systems, destroying healthy tissue in a process called invasion. That's number 1. The second thing happens that cell manages to divide and grow, making new blood vessels to feed itself in a process called angiogenesis. Cancer is ultimately the result of cells that uncontrollably grow and do not die. Normal cells in the body follow an orderly path of growth, division, and death. A programmed cell death is called apoptosis. And when this process breaks down, cancer begins to form. When you no longer have apoptosis, cancer begins to form. Unlike regular cells, cancer cells do not experience programmatic death. And instead, the cancer cells continue to grow and divide. This leads to a mass of abnormal cells that grows out of control. Immunotherapy has been shown to take an active lung cancer and turn it into a controllable disease for some patients. Find out if it's an option for you if you have lung cancer. How successful is immunotherapy for lung cancer? Well, immunotherapy is helping improve outcomes for people with several types of cancer that typically have a poor diagnosis, including advanced bladder, kidney, and lung cancers. The average response the average, I lost my place. Hold on, I can do this. The average response rate of cancer patients to immunotherapy drugs is between 20 to 50%. This is a study as of March 20th, 2023. Between 20 and 50% are having results. It's the federal agency in charge of approving every food and drug you toss down your gullet. Well, that's the FDA. Now, the FDA has a very bad track record because of chemotherapy, which it harmed a lot of people. Still harms a lot of people. So they keep making they keep saying now we got a chemotherapy that's not quite as vicious. Well, it's still chemotherapy is people are dying of the chemotherapy, they're dying of the radiation, and they're not dying of the cancer. So we have to really be very careful about this chemo and radiation. The main thing with chemo and radiation, if somebody is elected to take some chemo and radiation, very often people are bullied into taking various procedures by unethical medical practitioners. That happens a lot. I hear that a lot. But the FDA has a very poor record of doing their job. They're paid by the pharmaceutical industry, so they're biased. They're not paid by the health food industry, so they're pushing drugs. They're not, and they have for decades and decades and decades vilified, persecuted, and prosecuted individuals who were trying to comfort people with natural remedies and support people with natural remedies. Many of those people are in jail for trying to do that. Yeah, you say that our government would never do that. Well, you don't know our government that well then. Because they make mistakes, a lot of them. And anyway, one of the main takeaways you really want to get here is that since 1925, it's been known that starving the body of carbohydrates kills cancer cells. Carbohydrates are sugar. So if you starve the body from sugar, cancer cells die anywhere in the body. The key is to not totally stop using carbs, but use some carbs from fruit. And you always want to pick fruit with seeds, not fruit without seeds. So you get your sugar, a modest amount of sugar that way, very little, but from fruit, from a modest amount of fruit. And if you're not eating organic, which that means you're getting a lot of chemicals, pesticides, and genetically modified organisms that may not be nourishing you, but are probably harming you. Because people can't afford organic food. So they got to get whatever's at the grocery store. That's it. That's what they can afford. And they can hardly, and they can't even afford that because these grocery stores now are gouging people in to where they can't even afford to eat. The price food is, and then they tell you the food supply is soon to disappear. So it's bad food and then no food. Genetically modified organisms do not they does not make people healthy. And in the pre-civilization era, people used meat as their main source of nutrition. They also used green leaves, seeds, fruits, and wild plants for supplement. So they didn't eat just meat, and sometimes that's all they had was the green leaves, seeds, fruits, and wild plants when there were no animals available. And there were times when they had to eat meat because the vegetables, the seeds, fruits, and plants weren't available. But their dietary lifestyle now called their dietary lifestyle, which is now called the hunter-gatherer's diet or Paleolithic diet. And according to reports, during the era, there were no signs of diseases such as coronary artery disease or cancer, and very little sign of any other diseases, which the advent of agriculture, since the advent of agriculture, people have increasingly replaced the traditional diet with products of very little sign of any of products of agriculture, and they've replaced them with such as grains and fruits and vegetables and others. With the technological advancement and that have been applied to agriculture, people have fallen in love with the sweetness of these manufactured products, especially sugar, refined grains, and grain products and fruits. In more recent decades, thanks to the national policies of the US and other countries, which serve to protect their agricultural production, people have consumed more grains and fruits which are abundant in sugar. So they're getting more sugar than ever before. And during the same period, nutritional and medical professionals have believed that carbohydrates, sugars, are the best source of nutrition. They reason that the carbohydrates generate only 4 cal per gram of energy, while fats generate 9 kcals per gram, and proteins will give you only 4 kcal of a gram, and based on the individual's daily energy requirement, carbohydrates can afford the individual to eat a wider variety and a greater amount of foods than if they were eating higher fat foods. Furthermore, nutritional and medical professionals alike have always believed that fats are the cause of obesity and overweight, and cardiovascular diseases and stroke and cancer and other disorders. They have become lipophobic. At the same time, they are still unsure of the impact on our health from using more protein for nutrition. They are somewhat aminophobic. A majority of nutritional and medical professionals continue to promote the consumption of carbohydrates sugars, but not fats, and proteins. Also, the latest dietary guidelines for Americans and the food pyramid still recommend heavy consumption of sugars. During the recent decades, we have encountered a rapid rise in the number of difficult medical problems, especially overweight, obesity, diabetes, mellitus, as well as their complications. Currently, we have witnessed a growing number of cancers. Until recently, fats had been thought responsible for the development of cancers. Now, more evidence shows a link between hyperglycemia and some, if not all, cancers. Hyperglycemia is too much sugar. With better design of research projects, we can expect that this link will become apparent. Hyperglycemia and some, if not all, cancers. With better design of research projects, we can expect that this link will become apparent. Most importantly, we must recognize and bear in mind that excessive carbohydrate intake causes hyperglycemia, diabetes mellitus, and overweight, obesity. What we have known about glucose, sugar, and some, if not all, cancers so far is cancer heavily utilizes glucose, sugar, for its rapid growth. Hyperglycemia is inflammatory and pro-inflammatory. Inflammation facilitates the growth and proliferation, the metastasis of cancer. Hyperglycemia promotes glycation both inside and outside cells, as it is implicated in genetic mutation. Cancer facilitates glycolysis that increases non-enzymatic glycation between glucose and proteins. Applying the behaviors of cancers, we are able to detect cancers with radioactive tracer attached to the glucose derivatives. An example, a PET scan tracer attached to FDG, which is an analog of glucose. And after cancer cells take in glucose analog, which is attached to the tracer, PET scan can locate the sites and measure the sizes of cancers to develop carbohydrate-based cancer vaccines. Can we do something about preventing cancers from happening to us in the first place? Well, while we are still unsure of the real causes of cancer and cancers, for our ordinary cells to become cancer cells, we blame genes, inflammation, biochemical reactions, physical irritation, infections, environmental pollutants, fats, and many others for the initiation of cancer. Until recent years, we had never suspected carbohydrates to be a possible cause. However, We do not have to become carbophobic. We just have to mindfully use carbohydrates while hoping more research projects will focus on the relationship between carbohydrates and cancer. Several articles already exist that implicate carbohydrates in the development of various cancers. So where do you start? Okay, we're going to limit the sugars, and we're going to that's one place to start. But it's all part of diet. So now that's where you get into the Make Lifestyle Changes diet system, which is a system of eating where you're eating to live, not living to eat. There are many people who are living to eat. They're not eating to live. So they're feeding the mind, not the body. So making lifestyle changes, that's going to give you a solid diet system with a balance, because you're going to be balancing the acid, alkaline, and sugar and fat and intakes. You're going to be balancing all of this, and the acid alkaline balance. You'll be able to see it. And you can feel it within 3 days of doing the Make Lifestyle Changes diet. You know, you have more energy, more clarity, and you are, it's working for you. You're feeling better. You're more powerful, and you stay powerful into old age. I'm living proof. I'm 83, and I'm ready to rock. That's it. So what do we do here? We click on the what to do button on the report, and we drink more tea. Okay, so well, it really gets into the diet system. Because that diet system is not going to go away, because that's where you start. So here's the acid alkaline food chart right here. It's telling us that we need to drink a lot of water. And I see a microphone open over there in Louisiana. Do you have a question, a topic, or a suggestion? Okay, it's just open. So please open it again if you do have a question, a topic, or a suggestion, because I invite people to ask me questions or make comments or suggest what we talk about. And that's why I'm talking about cancers, is because that's what somebody wanted to learn about today. So that's what we're learning about. So where do you start? We already said, let's understand sugars and try to stay away from the sugars. Secondly, let's look at that acid alkaline food chart, balance out the acid alkalinity, because if you're too acid, that invites cancer and all kinds of other diseases. So it's really serious that you need to learn to balance out and be more alkaline. You need to be a little bit more alkaline than acid in your diet. About 60% alkaline and 40% acid. And if there is cancer, you want to be 70% alkaline and only 30% cancer, 30% acid. So it's an acid alkaline balance, and that's your acid alkaline food chart. So you're picking all the foods that you like from the alkaline food chart, and you're looking at in that Make Lifestyle Changes diet system. It's also giving you food plans, meal plans, and recipes. So you got all the recipes, the meal plans, acid alkaline food chart. You're getting things balanced out. And when you balance your body out with acid alkaline, not so much sugar, and more fats and more water and more protein. Those are the things we need to concentrate on. But the next thing is drinking enough water. If you're anyone who's fighting a serious disease needs to drink approximately 1 gallon of water per day. And because they got to flush all of that out. The river of life needs to flow. If it's not flowing, you don't have a river of life. So you got to keep that water going. And if there's a serious disease, you want to keep flushing it out. You can't just go on 1 quart of water and say, that's great. I don't have time to drink. I have people that tell me the reason that they have a kidney problem is they don't have time to, they're busy and they don't have time to urinate. Or, and you hear these kinds of things because people, they don't take care of themselves and they put themselves last. And then their family members tell them, oh, you don't need this anyway. Just take a drug. Go to your doctor. Take another drug. That's not working. B12 and folic acid drops. See, that's one of the first things in the Make Lifestyle Changes diet system. The reason why it rejuvenates every cell in your body. Now, these are the things you want to get in. You want that B12 and folic acid every day, half a dropper full, 3 times a day. Let's renew every cell in your body. You want to learn about super nutrients like vitamin D and taking that vitamin D, and you want to take a booster dose. If you're going to the doctor and you're taking a blood test, you want to know what your vitamin D level is. You want to know what your vitamin D level is because everybody's deficient in vitamin D. And one study that I read is that vitamin D slashes the risk of cancer by 77%. So let's get that vitamin D level up when 40% are at risk because they don't have enough vitamin D. Vitamin D is sunshine. And we're not, I haven't even been outside today. I went outside and back in again. That was about it. That's as much sun as I got today. So I really need to be taking my vitamin D, and I do. Because if I didn't, I'd be sick because I would be vitamin D deficient. People with CPOD, COPD, the chronic obstructive pulmonary disorder, people with lung disorders, vitamin D will help them with their lung disorders. And a lot of people, their hormones, they're not in balance and they're not active, and their hormones just aren't working. Well, there's pregnenolone. That's the mother of all hormones, and it's a stress reducer. And because one of the things that happens when your hormones are out of balance is that you're stressed out. And when you take pregnenolone, it's what they give a military pilot so they can fly another mission. That's right. They give them some pregnenolone. It's an inexpensive hormone, the mother of all hormones. And pregnenolones. So if that's the case, we boost up the hormones with some pregnenolone. Interesting thing about pregnenolone, it's so powerful that if there's a spinal cord injury, if you take it immediately, it helps to heal a spinal cord injury. It's the only thing they know that will. Pregnenolone, but a lot of people don't know that. So if there's any kind of a spinal cord injury, you want to know about pregnenolone. It's very healing, but it needs to be taken immediately when there is a spinal cord injury, not a day later. Same day. Pregnenolone. Anyway, there's all these super nutrients, fulvic acid. Now that's where they take dirt, where all the trees, all the animals, all the vegetation, everything's gone back into the earth. They mine the earth and they take out all of those superfood nutrients, and they call it hyaluronic acid, fulvic acid, shilajit, got a lot of different names for it. but it is all these super nutrients and it's inexpensive because it's come from dirt. So you take fulvic acid because it's loaded with super nutrients, and you get that into your diet. And if your immune system is compromised, and people who have cancer, their immune system is compromised. So now you need something special, really special. And what comes into mother's milk immediately after baby is born, and when the first milk that baby gets is mother's milk mixed with colostrum. Colostrum is all the immune factors from mom giving it to the baby. Now baby is immunized with colostrum, but some babies don't ever get immunized with colostrum, and later they become sickly because they don't have a natural immune they don't have a natural immune boost to start with. They start coming down with all kinds of things. Colostrum. So they make colostrum capsules, colostrum in capsules, and it's organic, and it's from mammals, and it's very carefully harvested from mammals like bovine, and but it's organic, and it's very. This is because it's taking a little bit of the immune factors just before the calf gets the immune factors from mom. They take a little bit of it, and the calf still gets the immune factors, and that's how they get colostrum. But it works. So you got somebody who's just emaciated. Number one, you want to give them some slippery elm bark so that they can have something on their stomach. Because when there's cancers, a lot of people can't digest and they can't eat, and so I learned early on in herbal school, colostrum you can feed to a baby who won't eat anything, and you're afraid the baby is going to get sick and die. You give it slippery elm bark powder, stir it up in some water or coconut milk. Coconut milk would be perfect because it's got all of the electrolytes in it. Water doesn't have the electrolytes. It's wet, rehydrate you, but it really doesn't have all the electrolytes to really hook things up. And coconut water has it all. So I drink a lot of coconut water. One of the greatest things you can do is pick up some calcium and magnesium from your local health food store or wherever you get your vitamins and minerals, because calcium and magnesium are the two most important minerals you can possibly put in your body. And so, but you want a chelated form. A form, chelated is a Greek word that means clawed onto. So that means it's calcium that's, in this case, had citrates, ammoniate, lysonate, chelates, various chelated minerals clawed onto, so that when you get the calcium, it recognizes all these minerals and everything and takes it all in. But then there's a problem with the calcium a lot of people don't know about. The calcium is on its way to through the tissues, trying to get to the bones, the hair, the teeth, the fingernails, and it goes as far as it can, and it stops. It's not getting there. So there's something called betaine. Betaine HCl is an amino acid. And the amino acid breaks down and is converted to pepsinogen. And the pepsinogen is converted to pepsin, the enzyme, and it digests everything, and it digests the calcium, and it can get all the way through the tissues to where it's going. Then all of a sudden your fingernails are hard, your hair starts growing again, and it's thicker, and so forth, because you're actually getting the calcium, because the betaine and this betaine is so good for the digestion that if someone has acidosis, acid reflux, and then you give them 2 of those betaine tablets and a glass of water, in 10 minutes, the acidosis is gone. And for perfect digestion, you take 1 with each meal. 1 betaine with each meal is going to break down and digest everything in the meal. You're going to really get your money's worth. So I take 650 milligrams of betaine HCl with each meal. I do all these things, and that's what keeps me healthy. Now I'm sharing with you what it takes to be 83 and have no illness and feel like you want to go out and play. But here I am, sitting here. Okay, anyway, good vitamin C. Now, vitamin C, nobody's taking enough vitamin C. Well, somebody is, but very few people are taking enough vitamin C. Minimum to keep you alive is 1,000 milligrams 3 times a day. 1,000 milligrams 3 times a day is 3,000 milligrams. If they don't give in a chimpanzee in a zoo has to have 1,000 milligrams 3 times a day, or that chimpanzee will die. We have the same physiology in that respect. So, vitamin C, that's what it takes to keep you alive. Linus Pauling, a professor at a college in Oregon, he took 14,000 daily. He would take like 5,000 3 times a day, 14, 15,000 milligrams of vitamin C a day. He lived to be like about 98. But he was called the father of vitamin C when I was going to school. And so, but 3,000 is good. What really starts the healing process? Because what vitamin C is doing, it's healing tissue, healing the tissue. An athlete should be taking at least 3,000 3 times a day. That's 12. So that's 9,000. So 3,000 3 times a day. I'm taking pretty close to 15,000 milligrams daily myself in order to have tissue building. Because when you're in your 80s, 60s, 60s, 70s, 80s, you're dying. The body's dying. Well, my body's dying real slow because I'm building a lot of tissue. And I used to have a lot of aches and pains and bruising and so forth, and couldn't hardly lift my arm from various injuries from working out and all that. All this all cleared up. I used to have really severe arthritis. No arthritis, no aches and pains, just feeling great, folks. Anyway, vitamin C, get plenty of it. At least 3,000 3 times a day will give you some real tissue building. Then super enzymes. I mean, enzymes are going to really help you to digest and break down, and you're getting some with that pepsin, with the betaine, but a good spectrum of enzymes. So you're really breaking down and digesting everything as well as possible, and it will cause weight loss. So you have to be careful if you don't want to lose weight. The super enzymes would be a good thing to be taking. And everybody needs to be taking acidophilus powder or acidophilus, a non-dairy acidophilus, like that one that's listed here in this breast and all cancer report. So these are all the kinds of things that are super necessary. Okay, so that you don't get sick. I do this and stay well. It's easier to stay well than it is to get well. That's it. Oh, one more thing. One more thing I do, and it's called MSM, methyl sulfonyl methane. That's sulfur, natural sulfur, just like the same sulfur that's in garlic. Only this sulfur is from wood, and it gets rid of inflammation. People with a lot of inflammation, and remember, cancer is inflammation. It's inflamed. So you want this puts out the fire. MSM puts out the fire because but there's a secret to taking it because it's detoxifying the body. What MSM is, it's a byproduct of wood. It looks like a pound of sugar. It's slightly bitter. And I just take a big spoon of it and put it in my mouth and chase it with whatever food and you eat it with, and you take it with food. And you want to take 1 teaspoon the first week with every meal. That's 1 teaspoon 3 times a day. Second week, 2 teaspoons with each meal. Third week, 3 teaspoons with each meal. 3 teaspoons is 1 tablespoon. So if you're taking 1 tablespoon of MSM powder, put it in your mouth and chase it with water, juice, or food, and just getting it down. That's why some people want to stir it up into something. That's okay, but I don't like the fact that it sticks to the glass and that glass is getting some of my good stuff. I want it all. I don't want to leave any in the glass. Well, I rinse it out a few times, but right off this spoon, or anyway, the best way to take anything is the way you like it. That's the best way to take it. MSM. And when you do that, what it's doing, the MSM is detoxing every cell in your body. That's 37 trillion cells. And it's detoxing every one of them. It's letting all the toxins out of a cell, the MSM, and it's letting all the nutrients into the cell better than ever before. So it's detoxing and keeping that cell young and wet and permeable. Now your cells are going to live longer. That's called anti-aging, and it is. MSM powder, when you get to that kind of a dose, because most times you'll see it take 1 or 2 capsules once or twice a day. No way. You want to take it in the dosage that I just recommended. 1 teaspoon the first week with each meal, 2 teaspoons the second week. So you want to lead into it slowly because it's detoxing and you don't want to detox too quickly. So you're very slowly working into your dose of MSM powder. And what it does is it keeps your skin young. Cells aren't dying as quick. So at 83, instead of being all wrinkled up, my skin is smooth and still lively. So MSM, and it gets rid of inflammation. So it reduces inflammation. If there's arthritis, well, you're going to reduce the inflammation. If there's cancer, you're going to reduce the inflammation. If there's any kind of an inflammatory problem, it's going to reduce the inflammation. So that's why MSM. And that's how to use it. Don't start with a large dose first. Go into it slowly. And that's the way you will use all herbal tinctures or any supplements. Don't take the maximum dose immediately unless you know that you can handle it. So take the low dose and then work your way into the dose where you can feel it. You know it's working. You know it's your dose, or it's too much. Then you take less. You're always looking for the right dosage of whatever it is, because what's good for somebody else isn't the same dose for you. We're all as unique as our fingerprints. That's how unique we are. As unique as our own fingerprints. We're all different. So you got to find out how much is for you. Always start with a little bit, increase it until you know it's working or not working, or you like it or you don't like it. And that's how you get into a supplement. So now there's these there's all this information in this cancer report that is very similar to the information that's in the Make Lifestyle Changes report. But remember, I'm updating these reports all the time. I probably have a record for sitting longer than anybody I ever met. And it's not good for me, but I'm sitting here hour after hour after hour, day after day, year after year, decade after decade. So you really need to be taking care of yourself, because this is more like an athletic event to have to do what I'm doing and then do a 2-hour broadcast where you sit here and there's no one else here helping me talk. I've got to keep on going for 2 hours straight at 83. You want to try that sometime when you're 83. It's a lot. It takes a lot to sit here and keep right on working for a couple of hours. But the acid alkaline food chart is there. One of the great fruits they found that is anti-cancer is mangoes. Mangoes is good against diabetes, and it's helpful when there's diabetes and when there's cancer, according to Emax Health, April 29, 2013 study 10 years ago. Daily Health Tea, Spice Tea, that's Pau de Arco bark. That is in South America. They use this herb to support people when there is cancer all throughout South America. It's Pau de Arco bark. So that's a good tea to be drinking, 2 or 3 cups a day of the Pau de Arco tea. It comes spiced and it tastes delicious, or a plain flavor and it just tastes like the bark of a tree, which is what it is. One of the greatest things you can discover to build the immune system is an herbal mushroom formulation that has 6 different mushrooms in it. All of these mushrooms, according to eating mushrooms every week, appears to lower the risk of prostate cancer, according to Newsweek, September 5, 2019. I'll say it again. Newsweek reports September 5, 2019, that eating mushrooms every week appears to lower the risk of prostate cancer. And there's a lot of studies that indicate that it's supportive when there's any kind of tumors. A study published in the International Journal of Cancer has correlated eating mushrooms with a significantly decreased risk of developing prostate cancer in middle-aged Japanese men. But the mechanism by which it occurs, no one knows it. No one knows how that works. But it's just those 6 mushrooms, and this is a very special tincture extract. This 6 mushrooms, and I take all these things. This one is really good. Ooh, the vinegar. Wow. But that's those mushrooms are absolutely incredible. And a year ago, I was diagnosed with prostate problems. So I took my prostate herbs, took my mushrooms and so forth. A month later, it all cleared up, and that was a year ago. I have no problem whatsoever with my prostate, and I was racked with pain. I was the first time that I went to a hospital. I only been to a hospital a couple of times in my whole life when I was younger. But that was the first time I'd been into a hospital for decades. But I went there because I was racked with pain with prostate problems, and they had an MRI and all this kind of stuff. So they found out that I had a prostate problem, and a month later, I've never had a prostate problem again. That was a year ago. Another thing I take every day is that mushroom. By the way, that mushroom is number 1315. That's the mushroom tincture extract. Is number 1315 with the 6 mushrooms in it. Great thing to put into your diet. The other thing that I take is number 1084, because it's a whole group of herbs that I researched and then put into a balanced formulation that were all used to support people who have cancer and people who were going through chemo. This is what they would take. They would take things like cat's claw, also called unadagato root, violet leaves, periwinkle leaf, and in India, Baharangaraja root. Mistletoe leaf has been used when there's for cancer support. Sage leaf, yarrow flower, burdock root, which is also one of the greatest herbs for arthritis you'll ever find, is burdock root. Echinacea root is in there. Golden seal root is in there. Yellow dock, that's 40% iron. So now you got the iron in there, which is always necessary in a cancer formulation. And rose hips flower, black cohosh root, garlic bulb, nettle leaf, that's reducing the inflammation, lemongrass, white oak bark, fenugreek seed, juniper berry, Oregon grape root, plantain leaf, thyme leaf, sheep sorrel leaf, turkey rhubarb root, slippery elm bark, graviola leaf, also called sour sop, and moringa leaf. All of these combined together and balanced out are herbs that support people who are challenged with cancers. So those are the herbs that are historically and traditionally used, and I combined them together, and people love this formula, number 1084. So that's a good formula to support your health when there is a cancer of any type. And another interesting thing when there's cancer is hydrogen peroxide, 35% food grade. Because hydrogen peroxide food grade, when you're taking only like 3 drops, and you need to look at the chart, and hydrogen peroxide is different than anything else we've got here. Anything else we're talking about, hydrogen peroxide is different, because hydrogen peroxide is where you get a cup of water and you'll put 3 drops in, and you'll take a drink then and sip on the water and drink the water down. That's how you do hydrogen peroxide. You do not put hydrogen peroxide in your mouth. It'll burn your mouth. It's peroxide. So you just go with the chart. But what it does is it oxygenates every cell in your body. Guess what? Cancer dies in the presence of oxygen. So, hydrogen peroxide, that's another thing that periodically I go on it for a while, and then I go off of it for a while. This is one of those things I'm coming and going with hydrogen peroxide. But it's, these are the kinds of things that I do to get healthy, stay healthy. Hydrogen peroxide, very valuable to know about this and very supportive when there's cancers. Now, in Canada, back in 40, 50 years ago, when I was studying with an Iroquois Indian medicine woman from Canada, she knew about a formulation. She knew a nurse up there that invented a formulation that they called Essiak. And Essiak was the name of the nurse spelled backwards. And the reason it became so famous is because the Iroquois and the Ojibwa Indians were the ones that knew about this formulation. And these are a couple of tribes up in the northeast Canada. And Norma Myers, Dr. Norma Myers, knew the nurse Renee Cossey and knew the formula, and so I got privileged to this special formulation that the Ojibwa Indians, one day she went to them and she's telling them, I'm a nurse and I've got another person with cancer that's dying with the cancer. They looked at her quizzically and they said, well, why are they dying? We know what to do about cancers. And so she gave nurse Renee Cossey, gave her the herbs. And the herbs are herbs that you'll find in that number 1084 formula, as well as by themselves in a formulation called Truman's Essiak formula. So what happened is the government found out about the fact that she had this formulation, and then all of a sudden, all of her cancer patients didn't have cancer anymore. And every morning when Nurse Renee Cossey would get up, she'd have to get up and get breakfast and everything, and then she'd look out the front door, and the line formed from her front door all the way around the block, and she's handing out these little bags of Essiak tea to all these people one by one all day long. And the government found out about it, and they told her, if you don't give us that formula, we're going to arrest you. She said, I'm not giving you the formula, and I dare you to arrest me. They never arrested her. She never did give them the formulation. And today, that formulation still exists. That's it. It's the Essiak formula. And also, if there's another formulation that is another herb called frankincense, which is a biblical herb. Boswellia is the botanical name. And frankincense, Boswellia, the essential oil, and the herb itself is also used to support people when there's cancer. That's what it says in all the books that I've ever read, in the glossary of terms, anti-cancer, anti-inflammatory, anti-arthritis, That's what the boswellia, frankincense, has been used for thousands of years. So that's another good herb. And I combined the Essiak, excuse me, I combined the boswellia frankincense with another famous anti-inflammatory herb called turmeric, because turmeric is so anti-inflammatory. When you go to the East, Egypt and Jerusalem and Israel and all that, you're going to find curry powder, curry everything, curry dishes in all throughout all throughout Egypt and those countries. They all have curry, and the reason why the curry is turmeric, that yellow herb. Actually, it's kind of orange. When you look at the root, the turmeric root, it's orange inside, looks like kind of like a carrot. But it's so anti-inflammatory. That's the herb that they used when they were building the pyramids and doing all that kind of heavy work and so forth. That because it and became and they put it in everything. That's why they had curry dishes for everything, all with turmeric in it. Turmeric is anti-inflammatory. Turmeric, curcumin, it stimulates bile flow. It reduces blood clotting. It protects the liver. Turmeric. So I combined the frankincense and the turmeric together, because the turmeric also crosses the blood-brain barrier. If there is someone who has a pituitary tumor or a brain tumor, I'm always sure to give them herbs that cross the blood-brain barrier, like turmeric, and reduce inflammation. Then when you're combining lots of turmeric into the diet with all these other herbs, it brings some of those with them into, across the blood-brain barrier with it. So that's one of the things that we do. Colloidal silver water is another fantastic thing to learn about, because you want a colloidal silver water generator. And I don't say this lightly. I want you to really pay attention to what I'm going to say, because I'm going to say everyone should have a colloidal silver water generator. It's a little box that takes, you can go to the store for $1.26 or whatever it is for distilled water. Get a gallon of distilled water for $1, $1.50, whatever it is. Bring it home, get your colloidal silver water generator, about the size of a deck of cards, put it on the counter, take the little wire, attach your 2 silver rods to the 2 alligator clips, bend it down into a gallon or a cup, whatever size of water you want. You make your colloidal silver water. When the silver rods are down in there, you can make a pint of colloidal silver water in 10 minutes. You can make a gallon every 40 minutes of colloidal silver water. Now, if you go to the store, every health food store has colloidal silver water. Because the water, it has submicroscopic particles of silver floating around, carrying an electric charge, hunting for bacteria, fungus, and virus, and attaching itself to the cell, penetrates the cell, and the cell dies. That's how you get rid of any fungus, bacteria, virus, topically or internally, is with colloidal silver water. It does nothing else to the body, does not harm the body. It just gets rid of these fungus, virus, bacteria cells that are infected gets rid of infection. And you take it until the infection is gone. Whether it's a cold, a flu, a virus, whatever it is, when it's gone, you're done. You stop taking it. And whenever you stop taking and drinking the water, because you're drinking up to 16 to 8 to a half a gallon a day. When I always get every virus, every flu. I get every one of them. And when I do, I grab my colloidal silver water. I get a product called CVF, cold virus flu formula. And I'm drinking the colloidal silver water. And I'm taking the cold virus flu CVF formula. And my cold flu virus goes away. And when I was in Jamaica, people were always knocking on my door wanting some colloidal silver water because their kid had the flu and they did everything they could, and their children still had the flu until they came and got the colloidal silver water and then got some CVF and they got over their flu. And then I saw what was happening here in the USA. That was in 2019. I saw what was coming because I'm a visionary. I know what's going to happen tomorrow. That's right. I know. I knew 62 years ago that I would be here today teaching about natural remedies. I knew that that's what I was going to do because I know I'm spirit filled and spirit led. I'm blessed. I'm very fortunate, and I'm able to share it with other people. But anyway, the colloidal silver water, everyone's got to have that one of these little boxes, because with a little box, you can make a gallon of colloidal silver water for $1.26. If you go to the store, it's $60 for a quart. $60 a quart, $240 for a gallon. You can make a gallon every 40 minutes. Worth $240. Hand it out to your friends. Give it away. That's what I did. When I was in Jamaica, I'm giving away colloidal silver water. And still to this day, people bang on my door. And now the kids come around whenever the kids get sick. Then, Grandpa, give me some colloidal silver water. Can you make me some? And I'm making up a batch of colloidal silver water. Next day I see them, they're fine, they're great, they're running around doing their thing. That's it. Colloidal silver water. You can splash it in your eyes. Why should everybody have one of those little boxes? Because then every 40 minutes you can make a gallon of colloidal silver water worth $240, and it costs you less than $2, like $1.26. That's what it was. That was the price of it. Distilled water. The last time I looked at the shelf in the supermarket. But you can use this water, splash it in your eyes. It gets rid of any eye infection. Put it in your nose. It gets rid of any sinus infection. You can squirt it in there. If you start to get a cold flu, you can squirt or put some drops and snuff it into your sinuses. Bam, clears the sinuses, gets rid of any sinus infection, any eye infection. You get an earache, it takes the earache away in seconds. Sometimes one of my hobbies is singing. I call my sister up and I sing love songs to her for a couple of hours, 2 or 3 times a week. That's what I do. And after an hour or so, pretty soon, sometimes my ear really gets sore and I get an earache. I put some colloidal silver water in there, and within seconds, the earache goes away, and I'm back in there, got the headphones back on, singing to my sister. That's what I do. That's my hobby. I play billiards, I play pool, and I sing love songs. That's my hobby. But anyway, so colloidal silver water, you could put it in your mouth and it will get rid of any tooth infection. That's right. If you have an abscessed tooth, it'll clear up and go away. Then you can go to the dentist and have it taken care of. Colloidal silver water generator. Everybody should have one. Here's what it looks like. Here's what a colloidal silver water generator looks like. More tea, please. Go over to the betterhealthherbs.com website and click on number 4576 colloidal silver water generator. That's what it looks like. There it is. Everyone should have one of those. When you're traveling, when I travel, whenever I go anywhere, it sterilizes the water so I can drink it. That's right. If I went to Mexico, or when I went to Egypt, I had to sterilize the water. I would take the little rods, put them down into the water that I could get there, whatever water I could get, and it would kill all the bugs and germs in the water. Then I could drink the water. Everybody should have a colloidal silver water generator. It's guaranteed for life. If it ever breaks, you send it back to the manufacturer. I have people that I had a lady call me up a couple of years ago, and she said, I need another colloidal silver water generator. I said, well, if you've got one, why would you ever need another one? They're guaranteed for life. If it's not working, she says, no, it works fine. She said, I got it when my daughter was a baby. My daughter is now in college. I'm using the same generator, but she took it with her because she said, I'm not going to be without a generator. She took mom's generator to college. So mom had to order another one. Everyone should have a colloidal silver water generator. Okay. Back to breast and all cancer. So these are the things that you need to know. There's all these things that help, and they're all in this report about breast and all cancers. Ginseng. Ginseng's another thing that everybody should have. Lots of ginseng, because ginseng are super tonics. They give you a lot of energy. And at the end of a broadcast, after an hour and 45 minutes, give yourself a shot of ginseng, maybe 2, maybe 3. Good stuff. Energizer. Ginsengs are, and there's 6 different ginsengs in that bottle. They're considered some of the best tonics. Ginsengs, they protect against radiation damage. And who knows how much actual radiation is going on? And because whenever they find out that, there's the radiation levels are too high, then they raise the levels that you're supposed to be able to tolerate, so that they're never wrong. You're always being protected because they raise the levels of how much radiation you're allowed to get before you're supposed to get sick. So ginseng and potassium iodide are a couple of things that protect against radiation damage. But ginseng is incredible because it not only protects against radiation damage, it protects against stress and fatigue and high blood sugar. It increases endurance and it balances hormones. Ginseng is an adaptogen, an alterative, and a stimulant. It's considered, ginseng is, and we're talking about Panax ginseng, is considered to be the king of all tonics, as it provides stimulation to the entire body for stress, fatigue, weakness, and deficiencies. It's something you take not so much to get well, but as you're getting well, then you start taking it to help to really get over what you're trying to get over. If you take it in the very beginning, it may not be strong enough to really do the job. But after you've tended to what it is and you target the natural remedies for whatever it is you're dealing with, making sure your diet's right, and you're building yourself, you set the stage, then you bring in the ginseng, bam, it helps you get over the finish line. Ginseng improves brain cells. Ginseng is especially stimulating for mental fatigue. Ginseng works with the heart and with the blood circulation, thus helpful with normalizing blood pressure and reducing cholesterol, atherosclerosis, and it is nourishing to the blood, and beneficial for anemia. It also helps to reduce blood sugar levels, and it's beneficial in treating diabetes. Panax ginsengs. It's also used as an antidote to toxic drugs and chemicals, and for protection against, we already said, radiation, improvement of vision and hearing, and to help improve one's working ability, as well as balancing irritability. And for women with lowered resistance and deficiencies and hormonal imbalance, ginsengs. So just know that these ginsengs have been used for thousands and thousands of years, and they have a tremendous reputation for doing what they say they do. One of the greatest things that was ever invented is this formulation called CAC, number 1078. It's a colon, blood, and liver cleanser. And CAC 1078. A lot of people are always asking me, what can I do to clean out the liver, the blood, and the colon? What should I use? So I created a formulation with a lot of different herbs in it, but balanced it out so it's not habit forming. Because anything that's going to clean up the liver and trigger and get rid of all the waste and clean up the bloodstream, well, anything like that, it's generally habit forming. But this one is not. This is not habit forming. You just use it when you need, when the bowel movements are a little sluggish, when you haven't eaten enough fruit, when you're not been able to have a bowel movement like you want to. Number 1078. Just take a teaspoon, a tablespoon, whatever it takes to loosen things up and keep you loose. Now, if you're toxic, if there's any toxins built up and you want to absorb all those toxins, then you want to add a fiber. So I created a fiber formulation called Special Fiber with bentonite clay that absorbs everything and is magnetic and pulls heavy metals and toxins into this fiber powder and is releasing nutrients, vitamins, minerals as it's cleansing and detoxifying and removing all of the things that the 1078 liquid is is shaking loose and getting out, the special fiber is pulling all the toxins into it, and all you have left is nutrition and things that belong in the body. And that's that fiber powder. So that's a cleanse and a detox system. And I'm always doing that whenever there is cancers. You're cleansing, detoxifying, taking, absorbing things that the body wants to get rid of, so the body doesn't have to work. Take the work away from the body, so the body can use that energy to heal. And it works. So that's a CAC liquid. You take enough of that to keep the bowel movement soft. You take enough of this fiber, you stir it up into some good tasting juice. Maybe you add some protein powder, that your favorite flavor, chocolate or vanilla, whatever. So then it tastes great. And you get this down once a day in the morning. You do a fiber powder drink, and it's absorbing all the bad things. Then an hour or two later, you're having food, nutrition, supplements, and so forth. And because everything's clean in there, everything's all cleaned out. And so, and then one of the greatest problems I keep running into over the years was the kidneys and all the glands not working correctly, low thyroid, high thyroid, pituitary, pineal gland, all of these glands not working correctly. So I made a formulation. It was 8 separate formulations for for every glandular system and the heart, and called it Gland Rejuvenator number 1196. That helps with balancing out all of the glands. It helps the heart, and it helps with weight loss, and it helps with the digestion, and it helps dissolve gallbladder stones. But there it is. It's a gland rejuvenator. So when you cleanse and detoxify with the 1078, you're absorbing all the bad stuff and imparting lots of nutrients with the fiber with bentonite clay, and you're balancing out the glandular system. Then if you want extra heavy metal detox, that's when you add the heavy metal detox number 1228. The gland rejuvenator is the number 1196. So these are the things that I'm always using when I'm running into cancers to help support the body. Okay, and it's helping. Those are those are some important tools, and that's about it. I think we've come pretty close to the top of the hour. We've really got into how important nutrition is. One of the things that they found is that selenium, the mineral, the inexpensive mineral selenium, science says that selenium proves itself as a powerful support when there's cancer. The study shows that selenium linked with liver cancer and found many other conditions. So, and one of the where you're going to find it in food is Brazil nuts. So you either want to make sure every day I make sure I get 200 micrograms of selenium, or eat about 3 Brazil nuts, or both, because the selenium is anti-cancer. It has anti-cancer properties. It's supported when there is cancer, according to science. Same thing with liquid sunshine, vitamin D. You got to make sure. And here's the research study, the report that says that vitamin D slashes the risk of cancers by 77%, according to the cancer industry, and that particular report that I've cited here. And then it gets into describing how important B12 and folic acid drops is, and it would run us into overtime if I read how important the B12 and folic acid drops is. But you want to bring up this report. You want to go to the website herbalhealthreview.com. You want to become a member so you can view the reports, and you get a username and a password. You want to open the breast and all cancer report and go down to the bottom, and it's going to and read all about B12 and folic acid drops, and you'll never stop taking it. You'll start on B12 and folic acid drops, you'll make it part of your regimen, and you're never going to stop taking it when you read that report, because you're going to see everybody should be taking B12 and folic acid drops. And they need to find out that a B12 deficiency and folic acid deficiency is all over the place. People are deficient in it. Another super herb you want to find out about is red clover blossoms. Read the report on that. These are particular herbs that are super herbs that you really want to know more about, and they're in this report. That's right, red clover blossoms, and one more, milk thistle seed. When you read what milk thistle seed can do, you'll say, why didn't anybody ever tell me about this before? I'm telling you about it now. Go to the herbalhealthreview.com website, click on common conditions, click on the breast and all cancer report, and get down in and read about, on the bottom of the report, read all about these super herbs. That's about it. We've come to the top of the hour, and I want to thank everybody for joining us here. Let's get over here, and I want to thank everybody over on dial pad meetings for joining us. Everybody over at YouTube, thank you for joining us, and of course all the folks on Zoom. Thank you, and tell your friends about this. This broadcast is free. I mean, my goodness, all of this, and it's free. It costs nothing to come and ask me to teach you all about natural remedies. Is free every Thursday for 2 hours. And my website, again, herbalhealthreview.com. It's not mine. It's the one where I publish all my work. herbalhealthreview.com. My telephone number, 503-362-5899. Be sure and text me there and leave me voicemails. Give me all kinds of information. And email. My email is Truman, TRUMAN, at herbalhealthreview.com. Truman at herbalhealthreview.com. And this is Discoveries in Health. Thank you for listening, and thank you for viewing. We are now going to give a closing prayer, and we're going to open up all the microphones and over there in dial pad. And finally, in Jesus Christ's name, my brethren, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore, take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day. And having done all to stand, stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints. In Jesus Christ's name, all praises to the Most High God. We receive his complete, continuous, endless, and limitless blessing for the glory and for the victory of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Praise, worship, and thank you. We receive. So be it in Jesus Christ's name. Amen. Amen, brothers and sisters. Amen. All praises to the Most High, brothers and sisters.
All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High.
All praises to the Most High. Jesus Christ is Lord. All praises to the Most High.
All praises to the Most High.